When did you start with the Justice Department? The DOJ.
I started as a baby attorney in 2007.
And you were assigned to like tax and narcotics or something?
All tax. I was morally indignant about tax shelters.
Morally indignant to tax shelters? What does that mean?
Yes, because all these people with all of the money were paying zero taxes, and my daddy, who's a carpenter and makes nothing, pays his fair share. So.
And you wouldn't have liked some of my conservation easements that I've done.
You might not have met Montefiore, but he may have bought a few giraffes for conservation easements.
Lots of circular money that went nowhere.
Or captive insurance.
Yeah.
That's another good one.
Yeah, so the shelters really pissed me off, and DOJ at the time was not winning them. And I was like, look, if I can talk 16-year-olds into understanding math they don't want to do, maybe I can explain these complicated tax shelters to judges and juries.
So you actually were trying tax cases?
Yeah, and try doing a jury trial where your client's the IRS. Win that case.
Yeah, I think probably unwinnable.
Well, we won.
If you're doing tax evasion dudes, there are probably a lot of male chauvinists.
Oh, yeah.
And I read one where a guy had flown in on his PJ and he just rolled in and he said something just so inappropriate to you. And how did that work out?
Yeah, he swaggered into the room and looked at me and said, "What are you, 12? It was on. It was on. I had him under oath for 8 hours. I could have finished in 3, but I did not. He paid a lot of millions before the end of that case.
Really?
Yeah, a lot. He maybe had to sell his private jet to pay his tax bill.
What are the steps you would have to take? Being in the Department of Justice, a U.S. attorney, how would you release something like the Epstein files? What is the procedure?
Depending on what it is, there are different levels of authority on who can release it. Grand jury information requires court approval, so that's not going to happen. But investigative files, and depending on what it is, you might have to get U.S. attorney approval or attorney general approval. But there is someone who can if they want to. It's internal to the administration.
But to be clear, you can if you want to.
Yes.
My beef with the social media platforms is you could stop it if you really wanted to. If you wanted to have enough infrastructure and stuff behind it, you could.
Yeah, it's so crazy. You know, when we were kids, none of this existed. It was easy for your parents to keep an eye on you and to make sure you weren't involved in bullshit. But now, you know, kids play games, you know, with multiple players, and there's like perverts and weirdos who infiltrate games, and perverts and weirdos on Instagram and TikTok, and it's bad. As a parent of small kids, I worry about it all the time. I don't want them on.
Yeah, my kids don't have social media. I have a teenager, no social media. And when they are on games where they have a name, their name has nothing to do with their real name. They can never share any information, never about the school, where they live, like none of that.
There's some of the litigation coming out against, like, what's that game?
Roblox.
Yeah.
They were able to get some of that information in different chats. And I'm just interested how that litigation's gonna go, because there should be massive safeguards that this stuff should never happen. Sometimes you get the pixels to be able to, if there's a photo shared or traded, there's a way for them to get a small kickback. And I truly believe there's gotta be something there, because why would you not try to stop it? The Madeleine Albright look, you said, right?
Oh, Madeleine Albright jewelry, like as in used to be hers.
Really? It used to
Yeah.
be hers? That used to be hers?
Yes, the bracelet, the necklace, and the brooch. She was an important figure in my life. She was running something called the Harry Truman Foundation. She was the chair of the board when I was very actively involved with it and got to know her and just had really impactful conversations in my life. She had this conversation with me about, what do you do when you're the most powerful person in the room? How are you in that room? And like, it changed the way I did things as U.S. attorney. And my husband, who is like the best spouse ever. After she passed and they put some of her stuff on auction, he got with my DC friends and went in bed so I could, on days when I want to feel my girl power,
That's awesome.
wear jewelry worn by Secretary Madeleine Albright. Like, it's a good remember, like this is to help me show up as the person I want to be.